Hi everyone, Kim here at Olive City Homestead, and this is Relaxing in the Garden number 2. It's the end of May, and I'm looking around at my garden and everything looks really pretty. Well, no, not everything, but a lot of things look really pretty, and other things look like they're in progress, which is, a good place to be at this time of year in the garden, especially considering what we've all apparently been going through this season. I've talked to and read so many people's descriptions of their gardening experience over the last 2 months, and it sounds like everybody has been facing really weird weather for one thing. And yeah, I mean, I'm in long sleeves today because up until this very moment, it's been super chilly because of the strong winds. Whereas just a few days ago, it was 105 degrees. I hope the weather settles down soon, but you never know. It could be like this for weeks, maybe longer. So what have I been up to in the garden? If you've seen a couple of my recent videos, you'll know I've been planting a lot more seeds. I thought some bugs were getting to some of my plants, the beans in particular, but now that I've had some time to really observe, I don't think that's what it is. I think it really is just the birds getting the little tiny seedlings and then the squirrels coming in and munching on the leaves of the bigger plants. So I'm working on how to tackle that. I'm using a variety of protective methods, and I seem to be winning the battle by and large, and that's all I can do is give it my best shot. When you live next to an olive orchard that's over 120 years old, there are a lot of squirrels that have residence there and are very happy that I provide them with some interesting food in the summertime. So yeah, my goal is to keep them out, and I think I can do it. Now that I have discovered how they're getting in, I think I can do it, or at least make it so inconvenient that they're not going to want to try. And then my plants that I want to keep the birds away from, tulle. That's the answer there. And so I'm using tulle and wire cages to handle that problem. But also, I haven't been able to do some of the projects that I was going to do because I've had a very busy May. I took my two youngest kids, my 18-year-old and my 16-year-old, on a field trip, and we went to a steampunk / Wild West festival, which was really fun. So I'm a history nut, and my specialty lies in California history from the mid-19th century, specifically the gold rush and all of the gold rush towns. I'm actually writing a historical fiction series set in that time period and location. So it was right up my alley, and the steampunk side of it was right up my 16-year-old's alley. And both the kids were really happy, had a great time there, and so did I. I actually met a lady who was spinning on a spinning wheel from the 1850s, very large spinning wheel. And when she found out that we have Shetland sheep, but that I have not been using the wool to spin and make crafts with, she was very surprised, and she was kind of on my case about that. So she gave me a little kind, friendly lecture about how I need to join a guild and learn how to do all of the stuff with wool and yarn. And actually, that's kind of been a distant dream of mine anyway, so I might take her up on that advice and look up some people who are already into that hobby, that pastime, that skill, and see if I can join in and learn something new sometime in the near future. Then the next day after that festival, we traveled a few hours and went to one of our favorite towns, and that is the town of Columbia, which was a very busy, very successful gold mining town in Northern California in the 1850s. And it still has the town's main structures, the main street buildings, and every weekend they have living history docents who take on the characters of the time, and it's just a really cool place to visit. So we went, and the kids made candles, and we rode in the stagecoach. We got held up by highway robbers. We played an old-fashioned bowling game that they had back then, and the original building and saloon area and bowling lane is still there. And what else? Oh, we went in all the stores, of course, and the blacksmith shop, and it was just a really good time. One of my favorite things we did was go through the cemetery. I always love going through old cemeteries. The stories that the tombstones tell are really fascinating, and so of course sometimes really sad, but sometimes very thought-provoking. There was one about a young man who was drowned and then said that his tombstone was erected by his friend, and then next to that was another tombstone of his friend who apparently died, I think it was 3 or 4 years later. He was murdered. And so we were coming up with, all of these plot lines of what actually happened with those two young men. Who knows, I might put them in one of my novels. So I want to share with you a few of the souvenirs I got while we were on our trips. This is some wonderfully aromatic peach soap. Oh my gosh, it is absolutely incredible smelling, and I'm sure it's gonna feel great against my skin too. All natural ingredients, of course, just lovely. And I have a soap bag made from all natural fibers. And look at this little contraption. You may know what this is, but I had never seen one before. Looks like a little ladder to me, but it's for the soap. Sits on the counter, soap sits on top of it. What a great idea is that? Plus, I just like the look of it. It was cheap. It was only $2. And so I have mentioned occasionally that I have major neck issues. I have 4 different discs that are totally degenerated in my neck. So I have a lot of pain going down my neck and shoulders and into my arms. Also, my upper back and shoulders are numb 75% of the time, and then the other 25% of the time they're in pain, and so I can't wear a normal purse anymore, so I need little purses. And I found this little purse. It has compartments in it, so it buttons with the little yarn here over the button, and look, it has 2 zippered compartments in front and the pocket inside. That's really all I need now. And this doesn't hurt my shoulder or my neck. It's long enough strap I can even wear it across like this and have hands free. I just love little purses now, and they're not easy to find, especially in the colors and styles I like. So this was a real find. And then I found one other thing that I really like, and that is this set of coasters. So these are made in the tradition of the Zapotec people. I love the colors and designs, and I'm definitely going to be using these in my bedroom and or my riding barn. And right now we're having fun because my 24-year-old daughter is visiting from Hawaii. She just graduated from grad school there with a Master of Music. And so she's visiting family and friends for a week or so. And my 2 youngest kids are actually flying back with her to visit her in Hawaii for a week. So next week, I'm not gonna have them here with me, and I'm planned another trip. This time, my oldest daughter and I are taking a trip to the coast. We're going to Fort Bragg, and we're going to the Mendocino Botanical Gardens. They look absolutely amazing on their website. I've never been there, and I know we're gonna enjoy that. I will try to take some video for you guys. And then the next day, I'm gonna take my daughter to a place she's never been. She went off to college early, my oldest daughter. She was only 16, and she's done some amazing things in her life. She actually has a PhD in history, and she lived in London for several years. But because she went away to college early, there were some places that she didn't go to with the other kids when I took them there. So one of those places was the ancient redwood forest on our coast here in Northern California. So we're going to the redwoods, and we're going to see all those ancient trees. I love it there. It's so magical. It really does feel otherworldly, and I will take some video of those wonderful trees to share with you guys too. I don't know how well it will translate to video, but I'll try to give you at least a feel for what it is like there. So while my daughter has been here visiting, some of my other older kids and my father have come to visit too, so they can see her. So I've been doing a lot of cooking and baking that I don't usually do. I mean, I used to do that all the time when I had tons of kids at home, but now that most of my kids are grown and gone, I have backed way off of all that cooking and baking. I do like to cook and bake, but because I did it so much for so many people all my life, I have really been enjoying the last 5 years or so where I've cut way back, and now I only do it when I feel like doing it, when I'm in the mood to play around in the kitchen. I've really enjoyed experimenting with the fruits and veggies that I grow, and that's just fun, pure fun. And it is fun also when I have my kids coming to visit, because then I just make their old favorites, and you know, everybody loves that. So, yep, we had lasagna yesterday. Today I made a big potato salad, and I'm gonna make a cheesecake. And tomorrow we're having homemade pizza. So because I've been having to continually plant seeds, and that is what I'm doing. I'm planting seeds every day. That's just how I've approached it because of the issues I've been having. And if you want to hear more about them, you can watch this video here about plant more seeds. But because of those issues, it's such a big project. I feel like I might be doing this for quite a while before I get enough plants. When I say enough, I just mean the number of plants that I want to have. So what I decided was I'm just going to plant some seeds every day. I'm not going to, make it this huge day-long endeavor where I get really tired out. I already have a lot of things to do maintenance-wise here in the garden, and I like to do 1 or 2 little projects every day that don't take too much time. I have to get indoors before the heat hits, now that the summer heat finally has arrived. I missed doing that one day, and I got super sunburned on my back. My kids did not let me hear the end of that. So yeah, what I've decided is just plant a couple of varieties of seeds every day. So I have ordered a few more seeds because I was running out. That was the Chinese long red noodle beans, because those are super important to me, and the Christmas lima beans that end up being butter beans. I talked about that before. Well, when I went to order the Christmas lima beans, I thought, I want to make sure that I'm getting the best lima bean to make butter beans, or at least I want to find out if there's any other lima beans that people say make great butter beans. And I found another one, and I ordered it. And you know what? I'm kind of tickled with it because of the name. I haven't planted it yet, but I'm going to plant it in the next day or two. I'm putting up a new trellis. That's my next project over in one of my cement block beds. And I'm going to plant these lima beans there so I can be sure to have a crop that I can put up for butter beans next winter. And these lima beans are called King of the Garden. King of the Garden. I don't know why, but I just love that name. I was watching a video on one of my channels I enjoy, and she was talking about, are you overwhelmed in the garden? And she listed off all these projects she had, and there were a few dozen of them. And I think we all have a few dozen projects in the garden that we could be doing. The danger, I think, is when we start saying we should be doing them. We should be doing them, and we should be doing them right now. And then we start feeling pressure that we're putting on ourselves, really, because it's pretty rare that we actually have to have, whether it be flowers or veggies or fruits, that we have to have them or we're going to suffer in some real way. There are some people that are growing all their own food, so that's a different category of people. And much as I'd like to be one of those people sometimes, I'm not right now. So I do want to grow a ton of butter beans. I do want to grow a whole bunch of those red long noodle beans that Nicole you're out there eating some. I want to get some. Did you hear that, birds? Leave me some. But anyway, I just agreed with her that, we should make some lists, but then we should prioritize and we should not let those lists rule us. The lists are just a guideline. It's kind of like when I used to make schedules for my kids because I've homeschooled them for, I believe we're finishing up our 30th year of homeschooling this year. So yeah, I used to have to make a lot of lists when I had more kids at home to coordinate everything. And I always used to tell them something about those schedules and those lists that I now tell myself about my schedules and lists. And that is, they're just a guideline. They're not in charge of us. They're not, a prison guard. They're just there to help us, to give us ideas of what we think we want to be doing, and so we don't forget things that we originally decided would be a good idea to do, that kind of thing. And so I've been remembering that this month as I've been so busy with so many other things. I just keep doing what I need to do in the garden to keep things blooming and growing, and a little bit every day to combat the issues I'm having and to build toward the future. Wait, there is one other thing we need to do. At least I do. If I want to enjoy my garden, then I need to actually take time to enjoy my garden. What I mean is, you can, spend a lot of time, effort, and even money getting your garden looking just how you want it, putting all that blood, sweat, and tears in, going shopping online and in person, finding just the right plants. You can design what you might think of for now as the perfect garden and even perhaps get it looking that way for a day or two here and there. But the reality is you might just burn out with all that work, and probably, if you're like me, you won't have then enough time to actually sit in your garden and enjoy it. And that is something I've just found in life all along the way. And when I started gardening seriously about 5 years ago, it just carried over into it. And that is that I enjoy what I have right now. I enjoy the process, the building of it. The flowers that are blooming right now, the cherry tomatoes that are ripening right now. I enjoy what I have right now, and I don't let the fact that, well, over there I still need to weed, and over there I still need to mow, and oh, I need to prune that, and I need to transplant that. That is true. Some of those things I do need to do, but I don't need to focus on that. I need to focus on the joy. I need to focus on the beauty. I need to focus on relaxing in the garden, because that's what brings me peace and happiness, and that's why I garden. How about you? Why do you garden? I suspect for some of the same reasons. Do you enjoy sitting in your garden and relaxing in your garden? What are you drinking today? I'm having iced limeade. Yummy, from some frozen limes from my lime tree. Remember, you can create the life you want and the garden you want. So why not start right now? And remember to relax in that life and garden you're creating. See you next time, folks.